All right, hey guys, so if you are joining me and watching this, this is probably because you just needed a little extra help. You were maybe a little bit confused and wanted a little extra support. If you went ahead and finished the rest of these problems, you can kind of fast forward, I guess I would say, with your finger until all of the numbers are done, and then you can pause it and watch to see what the answers are and check your work. It's also nice that if you made a mistake, you can go back and check to see what that mistake was. So we're going to continue on with number 11, and it says round to the nearest whole number. So again, remember, whole number is going to be that number that is before the decimal, because our whole number does not have fractions or decimals. So I'm going to be looking at 986, but I'm only focusing though right now on this number 6. So 1 to the right is going to tell me the 9 is going to round my number up. So that 6 will turn into a 7. So I have 987 is rounded to the nearest whole number. Number 12, round to the nearest hundredth. I have 159 and 410 thousandths. Okay, so I'm going to look at this 1 in the hundredth column. I've got my 0 in my thousands column. That's going to tell me to round down or stay the same. So this number rounded to the nearest hundredth is 159 and 41 hundredths. Round to the nearest hundredth again. So this 9 is in that hundredth column. I have 2 and 190 thousandths. I'm going to look at that 0. It's going to tell me I'm going to stick it and keep it the same. So it's going to be 2 and 19 hundredths. If you kind of look at those numbers, they actually are equal, because if I just take that 0 off, this is the number I get. Remember, adding that 0 after any of my numbers in my place value make it basically the same. I could add a lot of zeros after this and it's still going to be the same number. So number 14 says round to the nearest hundredth. So this 3 is in that hundredth column. So I'm going to look at that 9 in the thousandths column. So I'm going to round up. So that 3 is going to turn into a 4. So I'm going to have 58 and 14 hundredths. Oh, here we go again. I'm going to round to the hundredth again. So I'm going to find that hundredth, which is the 5. I'm going to look at that 3. That's going to tell me to round down or stay the same. So this number rounded to the nearest hundredth is 2 and 15 hundredths. Okay. Rounding again to that hundredth, I have 10 and 886 thousandths. This 8 is what I'm going to be looking at to round, and then the 6 is going to tell me what to do. I'm going to round up, so that 8 is going to turn into a 9. So I have 10 and 89 hundredths. Here we go. We're going to round to the nearest whole number. 4 is my whole number. So 4, what am I going to do to that 4? The 5 is going to tell me I'm going to round up, so it's going to turn into a 5. Finally, I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. So now we've changed. We're in a tenths column. So here's that 4. I'm going to look at that 3, the one number to the right. It's going to tell me to round down or stay the same. So this number rounded to the nearest tenth is 11 and 4 tenths. Round down to the nearest tenth again. So 7 is my tenth. I'm going to take a look at that 5 and it's going to tell me that I'm going to round up. So 7 is going to turn into an 8. So this number is 54 and 8 tenths. And finally, number 20, I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. So 7 is in my tenths column. My 2 is what I'm going to look at, and that 2 is just going to tell me it's going to stay the same. I have 467 and 7 tenths. Right now, if you were just kind of trying to check your answers, you may go ahead and check your answers. If not, you may go ahead and go to the next slide.